Hey, ADK Performance Community, it's Colin bringing you this week's Coach's Corner. This week we're going to talk about ankles. Okay, I hear a lot with athletes that I just have bad ankles, and you got to dig in a little bit deeper because sometimes that just means you got to Achilles tendon stuff, and that's just part of your growth process as you were growing. People forget that when your tibia, so that lower part of your leg grows, it pulls on your calf, which pulls on your Achilles tendon, which pulls on the bone in your calcaneus or the heel bone. When we're looking at ankle injuries, we've got to kind of dig a little bit deeper. You know, when we see athletes who have ankle sprains, there's a lot of kind of things that can be going on in there. The first thing that I notice when I'm working with an athlete who's had a previous ankle sprain is they just have very low ankle mobility. They don't have that ability to really lift their toe all the way up and lock that joint out. And that's a really important piece of ankle stability. That that mortise joint is when we bring our toe up, it helps lock everything in, and then we don't need to use the ligaments as much, right? So that's the number one thing. And we'll see squat patterns. You can identify right from a squat pattern. They can shift or their depth isn't great. So we've got to open up that range of motion in that ankle. A range of motion is information to the brain of where you are in space. So if you've got bad ankles, it's probably not necessarily bad in terms of ligaments. It's just you don't have great range of motion. Your ankle is stuck in what we call an open packed position. So a position where it's more likely to sprain because it can't lock all the way up. So we've got to work on the range of motion. Then we got to work on the strength. Where we found when I was an athletic trainer, peroneus muscles, so the muscles on the side of your ankle that help pull your ankle out, but they also slow down the ankle coming in. We want to work on those muscles. And there's a bunch of different band exercises we can work on there. The next piece of this is we don't stop there. If you sprained your ankle, you're probably more likely to sprain your ankle. That ligament takes a lot of time. It can take up to a year for a ligament to fully heal, and it's probably never going to be as strong as it was pre-injury. So that's why it's super important that we strengthen up the rest of our body, right? We can do a lot of things with our calves, our quads, and functional stuff like single leg deadlifts, single leg squatting. Those are all things that we're loading up these joints, but we're also incorporating a heavy balance component into this. So when we look at ankle sprains, there's a lot of things that we can do. Strength and conditioning, when you sprain your ankle, there's still a lot of you can do. You may not be able to squat, but you can still do single leg deadlift or double leg deadlift. So if you're someone who's got a lot of ankle injuries and you're someone who's got a lot of injuries and a lot of nagging things to begin with, you're probably got what we call a bad case of weakness, where we need to get some better range of motion in some of your joints, get some strength and load it up on there and get you a little bit stronger to withstand your sports and the amount and volume of sports. So if your athlete needs help training around an injury or help them reduce their likelihood of injuries, reach out to us. We'd love to help get them faster, stronger, more durable, more available for coach so they can show up and do what they need to do. All right, we look forward to seeing you on the turf.